Hi everyone, Natasha here, and around my home today we are in the parlor. I am excited to share with you my July setup in my Unbound Planner, and I can't believe that June is wrapping up. So grab your planning supplies and let's get started. So to begin with, I'll quickly go over the supplies that I've used today to set up my planner for July. Of course, I have a ruler. I have my Pilot Friction erasable pen in the color red, and a mild liner brush tip and chisel tip in the color red. So those are from two different sets, and I'll link everything in the description below. I have my Unbound Planner, of course, and my Colors and Numbers by Louise Hay book, and I'll use this a little bit further on. I'll explain that to you. And then I did grab some of my Happy Planner sticker books just to add some personality. I think I used a couple from the Homebody collection in either the mini size or the regular size. I like to use this Happy Memory Keeping collection just for these small dates. So these right here, these are the stickers that I use to line the, or to make the numbers bigger on the weekly spreads. So you'll see that here in just a little bit. That's typically mostly the only thing I use out of that book. And I can't remember, I think I found a couple of little arrow icons in this farmhouse collection. So let me get the rest of this set aside and we'll open up my planner. Okay, if you've been following along, then you'll know I was using a bullet journal for several years, and toward the end of last year I decided I needed to change things up. My planning was really taking too long and I found myself feeling less and less productive and yet busier and busier, and I think it was just too much decorative planning and not actually just functional planning happening. So I decided to try the Unbound Planner for this year, and I'll link my setup initially in the planner at the beginning of the year. I'll link that below. And so far it's been going pretty well. I do like a lot of the features in it. Of course, there's a few things I would love to change if I could, but overall it's working pretty well. I was feeling a little stale with things in the last couple of months. So for June, I really decorated a lot and added stickers and a lot of color, and that has helped. I feel excited to get out my planner. When I open up to a new week, it feels fresh and fun and I want to use it. So that has been going well for the month of June. So now it's time to start thinking about July. So let me go ahead and open up to July. As you can see, I have gone with a red color scheme for the month of July, and this goes back to my personal numbers with the Louise Hay Colors and Numbers book. So for me, the month of July is a personal month number 1, which is the color red. So you use what corresponds to the year. So you'll see that in just a little bit, but that's why I have chosen red, and it works out nicely since here in the US, July 4th is our Independence Day, and so red, white, and blue, the colors from our flag, are typically a fun color scheme to use for the month of July. So I've used my mild liner in the brush tip pen. The small marker tip here is what I use to outline the lines, and then I just used the chisel tip for doing my headings at the top. I like this color red. It is a bit dark, so I just try to keep that in mind when I was doing outlining. For instance, I just made a line under the heading here versus highlighting over the heading because I think this red's a little too dark to read the finer print in the Unbound Planner if I would highlight over it. And I'm excited because we have Jordanvention coming up July 10th and 11th. So this is the annual convention for Jordan Essentials, the bath and body products that I sell. Of course, this year it's going to be virtual, but it's still fun and exciting because we have our new catalog coming out for the fall and lots of new products, which I don't know yet. So I'm looking forward to that. Besides just doing my outlining, I added a little bit of decoration with some stickers here and this little one down here, and then I think these arrows, like I mentioned, are from the farmhouse collection, and I did get out some of my boho berry stickers from the boho berry box, which I was receiving last year, and just added this little more fun July heading and this month heading here. And then of course just underlined my monthly focus and goals section. So far I'm still using this at least at the beginning of the month, and then I don't always remember to go back at the end of the month and fill out some of the last couple of things, but I'm not too worried about it. I feel like it's one of those things, if I use it, great. If not, it's no big deal. All right, so then at the beginning of each month, the Unbound Planner has a second page where you do more of your brainstorming, list writing, just extra planning. So you have this calendar page, which really just gives you your layout of the calendar. You can put all your appointments in. You have a little bit of creative writing here on the side. And of course, if you wanted to just write over those headings and then, or put stickers over them and use them for some kind of notes, you could certainly do that. And on the second page of the monthly planning spread, you have this month's priorities, your monthly goals and tasks, and they do already fill in a couple of things to remind you. So you review your yearly goals and last month's progress, and then you add your repeating monthly goals. So at the beginning of the planner, there's a whole section where they walk you through setting up your plans and goals for the year, so that's what they're referring to. Then a section for gifts and occasions. So this is typically where I've been writing any birthdays I have that month. So it reminds me to either send a card, or if it's someone I get a gift for, I just have them jotted right here at the beginning of the month so I can reference it. And this little section here I've been using more lately. I kind of took a break for a while and wasn't really using it, but the last month or two it's been working. So ideas this month too. And these 6 categories: be creative, help others, be connected, be healthy, take care of myself, and have fun, correspond to some of the goal setting sections at the beginning of the book. So I've just been making it a kind of a mental note to myself to reference back to some of those goals I mentioned at the beginning and use that to help me set some ideas here. And again, if I don't do them, it's no big deal. It's just kind of a fun way to touch base and go back to, centering back to those things you were trying to set as goals at the beginning of the year and keep them fresh in your mind. And then the second half of this spread is a notes page. So the first half is lined and the bottom half is just dot grid, and I love how light their dot grid is. You can see it when you're writing in the planner, but it's very minimal. So I've been using this page for my personal month information. So as you can see, I have July as a personal month number 1, and then I just have all that information, which I got from my Louise Hay Colors and Numbers book. So it explains what that means, and then it has an affirmation: I break new ground and begin new ventures, which is fun. And I added a little sticker that says, okay, let's do this. So that kind of goes along with that. Then each week has 2 pages. So the first part of the weekly spread is this planning page where, again, for list making and goal setting. It has a section for daily habits and a section for weekly reflection and notes. I usually just leave this notes section blank, and then as the week is going on, if I have a phone call that I need to jot down some notes for, if I get a customer needing some Jordan Essentials products, I can make that order list here. It just works good to have that little notes section each week, and I know where to find it. And then I've been using the second half of this page as my zone cleaning spread. So and then my next, let's see, context-based next action list. There it is. So I should have flip-flopped these and put zone 5 first, because the first 2 days of the week are in zone 5, and then the second, or the last 4 days of the week are in zone 1. But I got carried away with the red and thought, well, we'll just make this work. So if you follow the Fly Lady system, you break the household into 5 zones, and I think I forgot to write them on here. So let's do that real quick. So the first week of the month, however many days it includes, so like this month it's just these 4 days here, that's going to be zone 1, and I'll show you my zones in a little bit. Then the second week is zone 2, of course, it just goes down. the list. Zone 3 is the third week of the month. And it's just a way to basically stay on top of some of those tasks that you don't need to do every week. You just need to do them maybe monthly, maybe quarterly, but reminds you to get back to each section of your home and do a few of those items each week. Then we have Zone 4 for the fourth week. And then the last week of the month is split between Zone 5 and Zone 1. So for July, there's 6 days that are going to be in Zone 5, so we'll have quite a large amount of time to work on Zone 5. But then next month we'll only have 1 day in Zone 1, and that's how it goes. And those zones are usually smaller areas of your home, and for that purpose, so that if you end up with only 1 day in Zone 1, it's not a big deal. You just do a few of the most important things and don't worry about it. Just move on to Zone 2 the next week. So then I will quickly just share with you my zones. Let's see, I've got my packing list for Jordanvention. Here it is. So this is how I have my home broken up. It's almost the same as what the Fly Lady does. So Zone 1 is your entry and dining room, and that's how I have ours set up. I also include our parlor, this room I'm in now, because it's really our more formal entertaining space. We don't use this room that often, so it doesn't get as dirty or need as much done to it. And I just kind of count this whole first section of our home as our Zone 1. Zone 2 is your kitchen, and that's the same on the Fly Lady system. And I like having that full week at the beginning of the month that you really kind of focus in on the kitchen, since most of us, that's where we do a lot of, we spend a lot of our time, a lot of things happen in the kitchen, so I feel like it's good to get that started early on in the month. Then Zone 3 in the Fly Lady system is, I think it's your spare bedroom or your kids' bedroom. And then Zone 4 is the master bedroom or the main bedroom. And I just flip-flop those simply because I like the idea of putting myself first and making sure my space is nice earlier on in the month. So I do Zone 3 as my main bedroom, and then our master bath is off of our bedroom. And then Zone 4 is my daughter's room, and she also mentions in there you can make it just any extra room in your house. So if you have a home office or a craft room or just 2 spare bedrooms or a kid's room and a spare bedroom, then that zone where you do those bedrooms is where you can focus on that. So we do have a basement bedroom in the finished part of our basement, so sometimes I try to get down there in Zone 4, not always, usually there's enough to do in my daughter's room. And then Zone 5 is the living room, and so for us it's just that one room. There is a powder room, or it's really a full bath, but I treat it more like the guest bath. The door is kind of right there. So that is my Zone 5, is to focus on the living room, and then this is just a little closet that opens into the living room, my coat closet, and then the pantry opens into the kitchen. So that's how I have my zones laid out. So this just reminds me of that. And then as I mentioned, you can see here, so I'll have some items in Zone 5 for the living room, and then the rest will be Zone 1, the main entry and dining room, and for us, the parlor or hearth room, whatever we want to call it. So that's my zone cleaning, and then I just have a place to write down my errands list and my contacts list. So this would be any emails I need to send or respond to, phone calls I need to make, even text messages I need to send. Often there's even one that says, talk to my husband about blah, 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 because life gets busy and he gets home from work and we sort of just get caught up in our evening routine, and I'll forget to ask him something that I've been meaning to ask him. So I like having that there, mostly just to remind me not to forget those things. And then the second page of each weekly spread is this more of like a calendar spread, or a task list spread. So you can see I really just mostly did highlighting. I didn't do much other decoration or stickers this month in the weekly spread. And then on this page, so I used the stickers from the Happy Planner book. So this Happy Memory Keeping book is where I get the stickers to make the numbers a little bit larger. They're just a faint line and a smaller size, and it makes it a little harder for me to see when I'm just trying to quickly flip through things. So I like going in and highlighting, and then I just put one of those clear stickers on top after I've highlighted it. I fill in the circles just to remind me to really focus in on whatever I've chosen as my priority items up here, and then I have the gratitude section outlined, again just visually trying to separate those things and remind myself to do them. And then my meal planning section over here on the side, and that's all been working really well. I did start adding a fun sticker here. It says don't forget in the planner, and I've kept forgetting. Whatever I was writing over here, I ended up forgetting to see it, and I just like ignored it. So having a sticker there has made it really visually pop out to me a little bit more, and it reminds me to check on that as I go through the week and make sure I'm trying to get whatever that item is done. So if you've watched some of my other planning videos, then you know what I do once I'm getting ready to start the week is I just grab my ruler and my chisel tip mild liner and start at the bottom and just go in and make my little check boxes for the items that need to get done that day, and usually go up most of the way on the little column here for each day. And I think I usually stop around the 2-inch mark. So then that leaves the top portion for any appointments that I have or things like this these ongoing scheduling things like picking up our school food on Tuesday and Friday. So this is the last week, the last day of June is when we'll pick up our last food order, so that's why it's not written here. And of course my daughter's birthday, so that's pretty fun that that's coming up. And I did not do any additional planning so far in the rest of July. Mainly just was trying to get started on things, and then I'll go through and just plan those weeks as they're coming up. So you can kind of see the only thing I've changed is I did white out. There's a little section here at the top where they have water droplets to track your water and a little vitamin symbol and a little heart symbol, and I just never really used those, and I got kind of tired of looking at them, so I've been whiting those out. But other than that, I really like most of the way the spread is designed. You can kind of see there, this is how they look blank. And then, you know, like I said, just adding the color kind of makes things more interesting, makes it pop for me so that I can really see where things are and make the planner even more functional for me as I go through the month and continue using it. So that is my July setup in my Unbound Planner. Hopefully that gave you some ideas or just some inspiration for some ways you can decorate your planner, or if you're a bullet journaler. I loved seeing other planner videos just when I was bullet journaling, just to be able to get ideas on how to lay out a spread. So I think some of these are some really nice ones even for that. And I did add these little stickers. They're just a post-it note sticky tab, and then I took my label maker and made the little label here, and once I had it stuck down, then I just trimmed the corners. So that's where these weekly tab stickers come from. So all right, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day and you're doing well. I'm sending you my love and well wishes, and hoping that the month of June finishes up well for you and we move on to bigger and better things in July. I will link some of the playlists and videos down below that I mentioned. If you liked this video and you enjoy seeing my planning videos, give me a thumbs up or hit that like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.